Wasn't all bad news for risk-on trade today. In fact, crude's made a solid turnaround. Let's talk commodities for what's up, because there's a lot going on in space today. Mr. Scott Bauer is joining us, CEO of Prosper Trading Academy from the CME. Scott, crude oil, not a bad little session here, turning around from 51 bucks.
Big turnaround. You know, how much have we talked about the bottoms, where you want to maybe sell some puts, and you know the rally here, and people thought last week and end of last week that maybe crude had put in a bottom. We get this news overnight or yesterday from Apple. We see crude sell off, and yet big time rally back today. What is really kind of what I'm keying in on, Oliver, another topic you and I have talked about. Look how much Brent has rallied more so than West Texas, right? That spread narrowed down to like just under $4 actually. It has now widened out to 5.5.
Yeah, so I think that's a good point too, right? Because we kind of use that Brent crude spread as a way to see, kind of what that geo risk is outside of the U.S. and such. I mean, Scott, I thought this was like, one of the most important Corona trades to look at. I know there's cuts expected. I'm not downplaying the supply situation at all, but it can't be a bad sign for,
no, not at all.
For that overall kind of read through on what's happening in China.
Totally agree with you. And maybe what the market is saying is that, okay, there's certainly risk. There's certainly risk of lower demand coming out of China. It may be here for a while, but maybe fundamentally and technically, like many analysts thought at the end of last week, maybe crude has found at least a temporary bottom, if not, a longer term bottom.
All right, now on the flip side to it, let's run down the list here of our futures that are just going nuts. Gold is up 1.2%. Not to be outdone. Palladium also with another monster move. Bitcoin joined in its own turnaround today after it got slammed throughout the weekend. So, Scott, I mean, there's like so many different ways to play chaos in this market. Do you have a preference?
No doubt about it. And many of these commodities, there's been a confluence of trying to incorporate all commodities into one class as a safe haven trade. Now, I would tell you, of those three that you just mentioned, gold, Bitcoin, palladium, gold is absolutely the safe haven trade.
Okay.
Bitcoin has had its ons and offs with the movement of gold. It held beautifully at around 9,500, which was some pretty big support, and then actually shot up today past 10,000. In fact, you look at the volume here at CME futures today, I think it's over 20,000 contracts. So massive move. But palladium, I don't want to say it's the stepchild of all the commodities here. That thing's up 30% year to date. Okay, over 2,400, 5% move today. But to me, it's not so much of a risk on or risk off type of move. When you dig deeper into palladium, and this is something that I've just been reading up on more so recently, palladium comes from platinum. Okay, and we all know that what's going on with the virus and in China with growth and everything, just really being constricted there. Actually, the usage of platinum is way down. So the miners of platinum, Oliver, they don't want to mine it because they don't want to have an oversupply of platinum. So the fact that palladium comes from platinum, and that is like this big, massive go-to metal right now, there is such a shortage. This one really comes down to basic economics of supply and demand. There is such a shortage of palladium, that's why you're seeing this thing skyrocket.
Yeah, so it's interesting because you've kind of got the safety trade narrative, but you've also got palladium specific. I know the use in the autos and efficiency is part of this as well. It's just got like a perfect mix. And Scott, on the chart, there's no signal of any weakness. I mean, this is just another one of these exponential moves we can add to our list that's gone from certain stocks and now to commodities as well. It's pretty incredible.
How long before you start getting, and I'm being totally serious here, the comparisons of palladium with Tesla, especially because palladium is used, to reduce emissions, this, that, and the other, and then you have the whole side of the electric vehicles. I'm telling you, with like you said, these massive moves that we're seeing here, these one-off moves that continuously happen over and over, you're going to start seeing some comparisons here.
Yeah, all right. Scott, appreciate a good conversation, walking through all the different safety trades. So many in this market. Again, I don't know how that can be. We might have to change the label for safety. Scott, good stuff as always. CEO of Prosper Trading Academy.